Hi! So for a change, I'm not actually recording a movie review, because I haven't actually really seen anything since the Lego movie. Instead, I wanted to talk about a game that I've been playing lately, and is actually is a part of one of my favorite game series. So I'm not a big gamer. In fact, I tend not to play much. I used to more when I was at uni because I worked in a computer game store and I had friends who enjoyed playing computer games. They still do. I unfortunately have drifted away from gaming a fair bit. I I'm more of a console person, I guess, and I can never afford to play console, so I rarely ever do that. I'm not much of a PC gamer. I've never had laptops or computers that really can, and I just don't know. I just don't like PC gaming. Anyway, never mind. Point is, the game series I wanted to talk about has just had a new release, and that is Kingdom Hearts. I love Kingdom Hearts. I played the first one back at uni. A friend of mine had it for the PlayStation 2, and I didn't even have a PlayStation 2. I played the game at their place, and I fell in love with it. I absolutely loved playing it. I loved the mixture of. I mean, I didn't know Final Fantasy at the time. I like it more now that I have played the Final Fantasy games, or at least I like that I recognise them. But back then it was just, oh my god, Disney. You know, you've got Donald and Goofy running around with you, fighting with you. You've got Mickey. You're looking for Mickey, and it was a very simple sort of idea in that you are. Well, I say simple. It's not actually. It's quite complicated, really. But the initial idea was that you're just looking for Mickey. You're a kid called Sora. You've been told you're a Keyblade master. You've got a big giant Keyblade that unlocks worlds and destroys Heartless. And you've got Donald and Goofy who's been assigned to help you find King Mickey. But you're also finding your friends as well, because you've just come from an island. And all of these worlds, like the Disney worlds, so was it Peter Pan, Hercules, Nightmare Before Christmas, Aladdin, that kind of thing. All of these worlds are separate, and you're sort of journeying from one to the other. Because normally you're not supposed to be able to get there, but now the barriers have all broken down, and now you can, and everything. And you're supposed to put everything back to order. And yeah, it was quite a simple kind of game in that respect, in that you're looking for your friends. There is a more complicated sort of plot going on, but it's quite simple. It's quite fun. And I got addicted to it. I mean, I actually bought a PlayStation 2 just for this game, and I would play it all the time. If I didn't have uni work to do or I wasn't going anywhere, I would stay in and I would play this game for hours. I wasn't very good at it. I realise now that I didn't really understand. This was a whole new gaming for me. I was more used to platformers or Mega Drive games and stuff. So the whole idea of leveling up, I didn't understand that concept, which is why I probably died a lot, and it took me a long time to do certain parts. But I absolutely love the game. I've played it multiple times all the way through. I've never completely completed it because there are a few other little side enemies to fight that I've never been able to do. But I absolutely loved it. The second one came out just after I'd left the game store I was working at, and it actually came out at a very fortunate time for me because I was not in a great place. I was unemployed, riddled with anxiety and not doing very well. So this game sort of gave me something to focus on, and I enjoyed playing the second one. I enjoyed the second one a lot. There was a lot more to the second one. So there were a lot more worlds. You go back to the worlds multiple times. There is even worlds inside worlds sort of thing. So you go into a computer in one of the worlds, and that is Tron. So you are interacting with the original Tron character. And also you go to the Disney castle, which you'd only seen like sort of a little bit of in the first one, but never gone to. So in the second one, you can go to the Disney castle, and you can go back in time in the Disney castle to Steamboat Mickey. So that's really cool. There's a new world, Twilight Town, which is really annoying. The second one's annoying because you spend like 3 hours worth of gameplay just in Twilight Town and not even really doing anything, just going through a week, and you're not even the main character Sora, and that is probably the worst part of the whole thing, is just trying to get through that beginning bit. It gives you a few little things that's quite fun to do, but for the most part you just want to go to other worlds. You know, you're fed up with it. But other than that, once you actually get off the worlds, the second one also gives you a lot more to do. you know, as in fighting. So you can actually do different kind of special moves. The whole team up thing in the first one, like you could team up with Aladdin, and Aladdin would be on your team and he'd be fighting alongside you. That was cool, but it was kind of pointless because other than having Aladdin attacking instead of Goofy, for say, he didn't really bring much else. There wasn't any double teaming you could do, and it got really annoying when you had to do those Trinity things, which you needed all three people to do. So then you had to get rid of Aladdin and or whoever you were with. Whereas in the second one, there weren't any Trinities, and you actually got to do double teaming with them. It was a lot better. For that kind of thing. You were actually doing special moves with them, and they had a little animation, and it was really cool. You also had different forms, different outfits that did different things, and there was just so much more too. And some of the worlds felt a lot bigger. You know, something like Alice in Wonderland in the first one feels really small when you go back to it now, and you're like, really? There's only this location, this location. You think of the wide world of Alice in Wonderland in the film, and yet you're only in these few little bits, and it seems so small now. When you go to the second one, you're going around the whole of Beast's castle and stuff, and you're journeying various places in Pirates of the Caribbean. Pirates of the Caribbean world actually annoys me because you're basically playing off the story of the first film, except there's way too many cutscenes. There's not enough playing, at least in the first time you're doing Pirates of the Caribbean. There's not enough gameplay. You're spending way too much time just listening to the story, which can get really annoying because it's like, well, if I want to know the story of Pirates of the Caribbean, I'll just watch the film. But still, otherwise you go to Lion King, you get to fight alongside Simba and stuff like that. The story gets very complicated, I think, in the second one, with the Organisation 13 and who they are and what their goal is and everything like that. They're an intriguing sort of mystery. But that's about it. Otherwise, I find it. No, they're quite good bad guys, but because they got different personalities and different characters and stuff. But after a while, it does get a little bit confusing what's going on. And of course, the first and the second one, there's a not DS game. There's a Game Boy game that links the two between you, and you can actually get a version of the first one that shows you that, because it does get a little bit confusing when you play the second one. And you're like, okay, so what's happened here? I won't get into the second and the third link yet. This is just an introduction telling how much I love the Kingdom Hearts games and talking about the first two Kingdom Hearts games. I do want to actually talk about the third one while I'm playing it, because at the moment I've started playing. I've actually clocked about 14 hours yet so far, so I am a fair way into it now, and I will talk about that one next time I make a video. But right now I just wanted to talk about my love of the first two, and which one I actually prefer over these. Well, this is a really hard one because I have more nostalgia, obviously. There's the nostalgia factor, there's the sentimental factor. It's the fact that I got obsessed with this one more than I was obsessed with this one. And I absolutely adored this game when I played it. So there is that. But as far as gameplay goes, this one has so much more to it. Like I said, there's more you can do with the characters. There's more stuff to just do in each world. The worlds feel bigger. There feels like there's more worlds as well. And plus, some of the worlds that annoyed me in the first one aren't so bad in this one. Like Ariel, I didn't like swimming through Ariel's world, but in the second one, you're just doing musical numbers, and it's like mini game sort of things. So I prefer that so much more. Other worlds, Hercules is just a tournament world in the first one, and yet in the second one you actually get to go to the underworld and you actually get to explore Hercules' worlds better. So that's quite enjoyable for that. So yeah, in some ways I prefer... It's a really tough one to say, because like I said, in some ways this game has so much more and has so many more much more to enjoy. But this one I absolutely loved when I first played. Like I said, there is the nostalgia, there is the sentiment. So in some ways I will always prefer this one. But like I said, this is a very good follow-up that really does offer you a lot more than the first one does in so many ways. But like I said, it really is a tough one to say which one. I just love them both. I just really love them both. So of course, when the third one was announced, of course, any Kingdom Hearts fan has been waiting since 2006 for this game. And I think most of us got quite sceptical. And we got to the point where it was like, it ain't gonna, we're fed up with it being pushed back. We don't even care anymore. Get a little bit excited when you see a little bit of gameplay and all that stuff, but there's still no date and you're just waiting and waiting and waiting and you get fed up. And when they finally did actually give a date, which was this year in January, it was like, wow, we've actually got a date now. I can actually start getting excited. And fortunately I mean, I would have been stuck, I have to admit, without my boyfriend, because he has a PlayStation 4 that I can play on it on. I don't have any of the latest consoles. So we did actually go half and half in buying the game. So it's half his. He's playing the first, he's not actually played the games before. He's playing the first one so that he can play this one. And by the time he gets to this one, I'll be done with this one, probably. I say probably because I don't know how much there is in this, because looking at the back, there are a few worlds I've not been to yet, and I can imagine there is going to be quite a lot of content in it. I'll be disappointed if there isn't. And like I said, I will give my opinion of that game next time. I just wanted to sort of give you an idea of just how much I love this series, and how much I will say this now, I am enjoying it. Whether the whole thing is worth the wait, I don't know. But like I said, I will explain that when I make in my next video. Because like I said, I want to make a series of these talking about the new game. So yes, that's something to look forward to. And yeah, so that's everything. I adore these games. Kingdom Hearts is amazing. And I'm looking forward to talking about the new one with you. So until then, goodbye.